Dear students, by this time you might have gone through the first three lectures on PLSQL. Now this is the fourth lecture on PLSQL, which basically covers the part called as cursors. In this session, we will see what are the cursors, what are the different types like implicit cursors, explicit cursors, and special types of explicit cursors known as parameterized cursor and cursor for loop. So in this session, you will be able to understand the concept of cursors, its types and attributes. You will be able to use implicit and explicit cursor attributes for our requirements. Also, you will be able to use explicit cursor and you will be able to implement and use cursor for loop and parameterized cursor. So we'll see the actually what is the concept of cursor. Before going for concept of cursor, we will just see that how SQL statement is processed in Oracle. So whenever there is a SQL statement which is that query is fired, Oracle engine performs the task first, that is it reserves the private SQL area in memory. As soon as SQL statement is fired, so the private area for execution of that SQL query is reserved in the memory. Once it is resolved, whatever data is required for execution of that query, those that data will be populated in that memory area. So within that memory area, processing happens, whatever is requested through that query. Once that processing is done, Oracle engine frees the memory and that memory is made available for others. So these are the general steps which are followed by Oracle when there is any SQL statement is fired by user. Now that temporary area which is reserved by SQL, reserved by Oracle engine for execution of SQL statement, that temporary work area is called as context area. Sometimes that area itself is called as cursor also, so that the different literature refers the different definition of cursor, but we'll call that area which is reserved by SQL as context area. And whatever data for processing of that SQL query is required that will be populated into the context area, that data is called as active data set. Why active data set? Because Oracle engine will act on that data now, so that's why it is an active data set. And one cursor which points to that area, context area, is called as a cursor. So this is just the pointer which points to the context area, that is called as cursor. So as I said that SQL execution happens in some ways. The process is there. As soon as the SQL query is fired, Oracle engine reserved some memory area, that temporary memory area is called as context area. Data which is required for processing of that query is populated into that context area, that is called as active data set, and pointer which points to this context area is called as cursor. So context area in short contains the information about the SQL statement which you want to execute. Now this cursor having two types. The first type of cursor is the implicit cursor. So whenever there is a request from user for execution of any SQL query, so as soon as query is fired, the Oracle engine implicitly creates that area without having any instruction from user. Implicitly that memory area is created, and once that execution of that SQL query is done, then that memory area is implicitly freed by the Oracle engine. So this type of cursor is called as implicit cursor. So on this implicit cursor, there is no control or developer or user. It is opening of cursor and closing of cursor is done by Oracle engine. That's why it is a implicit cursor. But if you want to take that control in your hand as a user, then that is called as explicit cursor. So cursor is opened by user. Once the processing is done, whenever you want to close that cursor, if you are taking that control in your hand as a user, that is called as explicit cursor. So as I said, that implicit cursor is created implicitly by the Oracle engine. So implicitly declares a cursor, PLSQL implicitly declares a cursor for SQL, all SQL data manipulation statements. Developer, as I said, do not have any control when we are having the implicit cursor. So this is a continuous process which Oracle engine follows. Whenever we are firing the query as a user, immediately Oracle engine creates the context area, populates the data into that context area called as active data set. Processing is done. As soon as processing is done, immediately that memory area is closed. That is called as closing the cursor. So in this process, developer is not having any control. So we can only obtain the status of that recently executed SQL statement. So how we can get that status of recently executed SQL statement, that we'll see in further slides. So this is about the implicit cursor. And as I said, that explicit cursor, it is the full control of developer or user is there on that explicit cursor, because for select queries, we will as a user will create that cursor, manipulate the data as per the requirement and closes that cursor. So the entire process of this opening and closing cursor is in the hands of user or developer. That's why this is explicit cursor. We are going to see both the implicit and explicit cursor, how both the cursors are beneficial to us. Now, maybe it is the implicit cursor or explicit cursor, it is having 4 status variables, or it is also called as cursor attributes. So they are 4 in numbers. The first is percent found, second is percent not found, third is percent row count, and fourth is, that is, percent is open. We'll try to understand what is the meaning of each and every attribute or status variable. So this is the first, that is a percent found. It is used to check whether a DML statement has affected one or many rows. For example, I have fired some queries. For example, it is an update query. Update student set roll number equals to 10, where roll equals to 1. So what I am expecting through this query, whose roll number is 1, change it to roll number 10. For example, in your table, roll number 1 is available. So one row will be updated when this update query is executed. So it is returning something because one row at least is updated. So this percent found will return true. And if the same query, that is update student set roll number equals to 10, where roll number equals to 1, and in your table there is no entry of roll number 1, then use, when we are firing this update query, no row is updated because roll number 1 is itself is not available in your table, so it is not returning anything. Then this percent found will return false. So if query is returning something, then it is a true. If it is not returning anything, then it returns false. This is the second status variable or cursor attributes, you can say, that is percent not found. It is a logical opposite of percent found. When you are firing some query and if that query is not returning anything, then percent not found will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. If query is returning something, if some rows are updated, then percent not found will be false. If nothing is updated, then percent not found will return true. So it is a logical opposite of percent found. So actually we'll see that how it works. We'll take one example. This is the example. I have written one PLSQL block. I don't want to declare anything, so I have not written declare block. I am just starting with begin. In begin, I have written update employee. set branch number equals to ampersand branch number, where e number equals to ampersand e number. What I am expecting, I am taking employee number from the user, and for that employee number I want to transfer that employee from one branch to another branch. So branch number will be changed. Because of this particular query, if for example I have given employee number as 101 and that 101 is available into the table, then its branch number will be changed to the branch number which is taken from user again. If this query is returning something, if any employee number which is taken from user is available, then this percent found will return true, and this statement will be printed on the screen. Otherwise, this if block is closed. I am writing SQL percent not found. Percent not found is returning true. When it returns true, if nothing is updated because of this query, then it will return true. Means that employee number is not found, then it will display on the screen this not transferred. So how to use the status variables into the PLSQL? Using this SQL percent found. You can write SQL percent found. So SQL is nothing but the name of that cursor. This name is given, SQL is the name given to that cursor by Oracle Engine. It is not given by us. If it is an explicit cursor, we can give our own name. But here it is given by Oracle Engine, and that name always is SQL. So SQL percent found. So what will happen? What are the steps which will be followed? When this statement, update statement comes for execution, immediately memory area is resolved by Oracle Engine, that is called as context area. The data which is required for that will be populated into that context area. For example, the data of employee table will be populated into context area. Cursor will be there which will point to this active data set which is there into context area, and immediately when this processing happens, so update is done, immediately it will be closed. Now we are checking what happened. So we are checking whether this query has written something. If yes, then this will be printed. If no, this will be printed. So we'll see how exactly it happens. We'll go to SQL. As you know that when you want to display something on screen, we should write this first, set server output on. I have done it. I will check first the content of table. It is EMP table. Yes, we are having this 101, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will be going for this block. It will ask me that which branch we have to change. I want to change the branch of 101 from 501 to, for example, 510 or 520 I will do. So branch number is 520. Whose branch number I want to change? 520 101. So I will click on that. So it is writing transferred because that number was available in the table, that 10. If you want to see whether it is changed or not, select star from EMP. 101's branch initially was 501, now it is 520, and that's why it is saying 101 is transferred from 501 to 520. If you want to see now 106 employee number is not there in the table, we'll try to transfer him. What happens? I am saying that transfer 106 to 540. So 106 I will put here. So it is saying not transferred. That means the percent not found is returning true, or you can say that percent found is returning false. So in place of that, you can write like this: if SQL percent found, then this. Then one more if you can write if SQL percent, or you can write else here into this block itself. So, but here I have taken percent found and percent not found. So in this case, percent not found is returning true. In earlier case, the percent found was returning true. That's why whatever actions we have to take, that you can take. So this is about the first two status variables, that is percent found and percent not found. The third cursor attribute or status variable is percent is open. Percent is open returns true when cursor is open. Otherwise, it returns false. Now, in case of implicit cursor, we'll try to recall the process. Whenever there is a query for execution, immediately the context area is created and cursor is created. Data will be populated, right? And once the manipulation is done, the cursor will be closed and results will be displayed on screen. So before displaying the results on screen, the cursor is closed. Now this is about the implicit cursor. Now when this percent is open will return true when the cursor is open. But we don't have any condition where you can check this percent is open is true or it is actually open. So always this percent is open returns false, because this process of opening and closing happens implicitly, automatically by the Oracle engine. So cursor is opened, data is populated, data is manipulated. Before displaying contents on screen, the cursor is closed, and then after this cursor is closed, then if you are checking whether percent is open is true or not, then it will return false, because whenever you will check it, it will return false because cursor is automatically closed by the Oracle engine. Oracle engine will not give us chance to check when cursor is open because it is an implicit cursor. If it is in our hand when to open and when to close, then we can open the cursor, we can check percent is open is true or not, then it will return true because explicitly we are going to close it. So that happens in case of explicit cursor, but that is not in case of implicit cursor. So percent is open, many times this question is asked. You write one program or PLSQL block code, and I want that implicit cursor status variable, that is SQL percent is open returns true. But there is no situation in which in implicit cursor percent is open will return true. So always it returns false. So Oracle closes the cursor automatically after executing its associated SQL statement. As a result, percent is open always yields false. So it is not possible to check percent is open as true. And fourth one is there, that is the status variable 4, that is percent row count. This cursor attribute or status variable returns the number of rows affected because of execution of any SQL statement. For example, in our earlier case, we were talking about the query update student set roll number equals to 10 where roll equals to 1. So in your table, roll number 1 occurs once only. So at only one row is affected because of this query. If nothing is affected, then it will return 0. If one row is affected, it will return 1. If multiple roll number ones are there in your table, then multiple whatever value is there, that number of rows affected will be written as a outcome of this percent row count. So that percent row count yields 0 if the DML statement affect no rows. So we will see the demo of this. I am having this PLSQL block in which I am declaring rows affected one variable of number data type. I am starting begin. I am saying update student set class equal to B where class equals to T. Now we need to see in table how many rows which includes class equals to T. So all places where T is there, it will become B. And the number of rows affected because of this query will be returned by this SQL percent row count, and this value which will be returned by this status variable will be copied into rows affected, and that will be displayed on the screen. That is, rows affected will be displayed on the screen. Let us see the example. We'll copy this code. The table is stud. We'll see the content of table. Select star from stud. We'll see wherever there is a T, right, it will become B. So there are 3 students whose class is T here, if you can see. So because of that update query, all 3 places it will become B. So how many rows will be affected? 1, 2, 3. 3 rows will be affected. So it will display 3 on the screen. We'll try to see whether it displays. It is displaying 0 students transferred because it may be so. See here, in our earlier case, where we got 0 student transferred, that is because of some space into the string. Now here, if you can see the table, that is select star from student, we have got the 3 rows wherein the class is T. So we want to transfer that into B. So see here, what is the outcome? So 3 students transferred successfully. If you can check the table, then you can see all T has become B. So like this, we can get the status of this row count. So that is about the status variable, how we can use into the implicit cursor. Now we have to see the explicit cursor. The quick difference between the implicit cursor and explicit cursor, the difference is in the name itself, because implicit means if it is implicitly created and declared by the Oracle engine, that is called as implicit cursor. And now the entire control we are taking into the user's hand. As per our requirement, we will create it, we will open it, and as per our requirements, we will close it. So if everything is in developer's control, then it is called as explicit cursor. Generally, explicit cursors are declared and created for SQL queries, SQL select queries that returns more than one row. So developer is having full control over it. So how it can be done and why it is required to be created. So implicit cursor, as you know, that it is managed automatically by the PLSQL or Oracle engine. So we don't have control. If you want to take control in our hand, we can go for creating the explicit cursor. So developers or users will have that full control over it. We can declare explicit cursor only for select queries, and whatever data we'll be getting from select queries, that will take and process that data one by one in a loop so that we can solve our requirements. So all these needs will be cleared when we'll go for actually when we'll see the example, then all these things will get clear. So how this cursor management happens, that first of all we need to understand. So what we are doing into the explicit cursor, we are declaring explicit cursor, then it will be open. So whenever we are declaring, we are saying that we want this data from this table. So we need a select query. So that will be declared in very first page with the select query. Whatever data will be getting, or this cursor, whatever is created, that will be opened. So what is the difference between this declaration and open? As we have seen, whatever is written into the declare section is not actually created till the point it is actually required. So here it is just the intimation, this kind of cursor or memory space is going to be created, but actually when it will be opened, then actual that memory space is created. So context area will be created. Now that context area, we have to populate the data. So that will be done using the fetch query. So this fetching will happen and active data set, whatever we want, will be stored into the cursor. If that cursor is empty, then fetch it. If it is if it is not empty, then fetch it. If it is empty, then close it and complete our manipulation. So what all things are required? So first of all, how cursor is declared? This is the general process for uh, explicit cursor. So first of all, it will be declared. How it will be declared? The syntax is cursor, cursor name. As I said, implicit cursor, we are not giving name. So name by default is SQL in implicit cursor. Here in explicit cursor, we can give our name. So how that name is taken? Cursor, cursor name is, and which data you want, that you need to write using select statement. So for declaration section, we'll be writing like this: cursor, cursor name, is, and select statement. So once this is declaration, the memory space is not actually created when we are declaring. When it will be created, when we'll go into the begin section and we will open it. So this cursor name now we are opening, means memory space is created. Now cursor, that context area is empty now. We have to fetch the data. So which data we have to fetch? This cursor's data we have to fetch into the memory. So how that can be done? That can be done using fetch. That is fetch cursor name into list of variables. Now we'll be taking that data into the variable, memory variable, for processing purpose. And once this processing is done into loop, we can close it using close cursor name. When we'll go for actual requirements, this idea will be clearer, because when we see the demo, the most of the ideas will be cleared. Now, till this point, we have seen the theoretical part of explicit cursor. Now we'll see that how exactly it satisfies our requirement. For example, this is our requirement, which is there on your screen. I will read that requirement first. College has decided to mark all those students detained, that is D, who are having attendance less than 75%. And whenever such update takes place, a record for the same is maintained in the D student, that is detained student table. So we are having two tables in this requirement. The first table is there, that is stud 21. And in that table, we are having roll number, attendance, and status. Initially, status is empty. Now, the similar kind of example we have seen earlier using PLSQL block, wherein what we were doing, we have written a PLSQL block for marking the student as detained, but there we were doing one by one. We were taking the roll number from the user, for example, roll number 1. The PLSQL block used to check whether what is the attendance of that student, roll number 1. If it is less than 75, he used to, that PLSQL block used to mark the status as D, otherwise status as ND. Again, 2, 3, for example, 100 students are there. For each and every student, one by one, we need to take the input and set it. So 100, if students are there, then 100 times we need to execute that PLSQL block. But here, that is the beauty of this explicit cursor, wherein we can execute PLSQL block once, and at a time all 100 students attendance will be checked, and whenever the attendance that cursor will found as less than 75, immediately it will change the status to D, and its entry will be made into another table, that is D student. And if you can think on this is not possible using PLSQL block, wherein PLSQL block normal, we can just do it for only one student at a time. But here, because we are fetching that data and processing into loop, it is possible to do for the all set of students, those are there into the table. So we'll see how we can write. As I said, the cursor process is declaring it, opening it, fetching it, processing, and closing. So for our requirement, I have written this PLSQL cursor. First of all, how cursor is declared? Cursor name of the cursor here given as cursor attendance. What we want into this cursor? Select roll number, attendance, status from student 11, and I am taking only the student whose attendance is less than 75. So the students whose attendance is less than 75 only will be stored into the cursor. Okay, so there may be, for example, total 100 students. Out of that, for example, 70 students are having less than 75% attendance. So cursor will hold only those 70 students whose attendance is less than 75. Along with that, we can declare some memory variables which will require into PLSQL block to process. So I have declared three memory variables: mRoll, mattendance, and mstatus. Now here something different way of declaring the variable. Normally we used to declare the variable mRoll number into bracket 10 semicolon. But here something I have written mRoll variable, memory variable I want, which will be of same data type of the column roll in student 11 table. So this is called as type data type declaration with these ways. So how we can do? So mRoll has got the data type same as roll is the column who is having whatever the data type into student 11 table, same data type is assigned to mRoll. Similarly for mattendance, attendance column into student 11 table, whatever data type is there, the same data type will be assigned to mattendance, and same thing from mstatus, so that mismatch will not happen. So where mismatch will not happen, that we'll see. Then in begin section, here only the declaration, actual memory is created when we are firing open statement. So open cursor attendance, that cursor I am opening. Now I have started some if cursor attendance percent is open, then now here explicitly we are opening it, so by sure this will return true. What is that? Cursor attendance percent is open. This is a status variable, and now if you can see how to access that status variable by taking its name. In implicit cursor we used to write this with SQL. Here cursor attendance percent is open, it will definitely will return true because we are explicitly opening the cursor. Here we have opened it. Now till the time we will not close it, it will be open, so it will return true. Now in loop and loop we are doing this processing. What is that processing? Now I am fetching this cursor attendance, that cursor values into mRoll, mattendance, mstatus. Now you may say that out of 100 students, 70 students entry is there into the table, because we have assumed that 70 students out of 100 are having attendance less than 75. So in this fetching, all 70 students attendance, how we can keep into three variables? No, one by one it will be taken. This is the beauty. Fetch cursor attendance into mRoll, mattendance, mstatus. So the first row will be pointed by the cursor into this context area, wherein all the students having less than 75% attendance are stored. So first record will be stored into mRoll, mattendance, mstatus. We have to fetch it, and till when we have to do this? Exit when till the point percent not found returns true. Means, for example, 70 one by one, 1, 2, 3, like this up to 70th record we came. After that we will not this query will not return anything. So not found will return false. So we have to do this till not found is returning true. So not found when it returns true if nothing is found. Now if cursor attendance percent found, so when we are getting some data, so the first record when it found, we have to update the status equal to D and insert that detained student into this. End if, end loop, end if, entire loops are closed, And now this processing will happen for all the records. Those are there into the cursor. So 1, 2, 3. So we are having 70 entries into the cursor. For all 70 entries, this process will happen. And then we are closing the cursor attendance. And finally, we are closing this PLSQL block. So like this, it will happen. We will see, we'll try to execute this block. Okay, first of all, we'll see what are the contents of table stud11. Okay, status is empty for all. We are having 3 roll numbers 77, 74, 72. Now, how many entries will be there into the cursor? Because cursor is saying cursor attendance is select roll number attendance status from stud11 where attendance is 75, less than 75. So roll number 3 will not go into cursor because it is greater than 77. Only roll number 2 and 1 will go. So 2 entries will be there into the cursor. So we have declared these variables. Now we are opening the cursor. We are checking cursor is open. Yes, cursor is open because explicitly we open the cursor. Then we are going into the loop and we are fetching the first row from the cursor. So the first row will be roll number 2 and 74 because it is less than 75. Its roll number attendance status will be fetched and exit when cursor attendance not found. So till the point we are not getting anything out of this query, till the point we have to fetch it. So first we'll take 274, then 172, then the cursor attendance not found will return true and we will stop. So when it is found, then we'll update student 11. We will set the status as D. For first we have set as D where roll equals to M roll. Then insert into detained student table also D student table. And if again we'll check whether cursor attendance not found is true. No, because roll number 1 and 72 is there. Again this both the statements will be executed. Now again we'll go. Now cursor attendance percent not found will be true. So we'll exit this loop. We'll close it. If close the cursor and then it will get executed. So we'll see the output. So it is saying PLSQL procedure successfully completed. First we'll see this content of student 11 table, whether the status is set or not. See here TD, both the places status is set. We will see whether the entries are made into D student table or not. Select star from D underscore stud. See here two entries are made. First entry which made was roll number 274, 172. Only two entries and this cursor is executed. So by this way, we can use this explicit cursor whenever in one execution you want to process the entire table data. So if you want to do the two things into this, for example, whose attendance is less than 75, mark the status as D, insert the value into D student table, and if it is greater than 75, mark this status as ND and insert the value into ND student table. If these two requirements are there, then simply you put all the records into table, you go for fetching that, then you check if attendance is less than 75, do this, greater than 75, do this. So like that also you can modify our requirement and you can go for processing the data in one execution.